Item number 4 is the approval of the agenda for this evening's meeting. We have a motion by Lewis, seconded by Barnes, to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion from the board? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item number 5 is a public hearing on the high school science classroom addition project. 5A will be a presentation on the proposed project, and 5B will be an opportunity for the public to provide comments or ask questions on the proposed project. With that, we'll discuss 5A first, which is the presentation on the proposed project.
So we have the same presentation that we've all seen. Do you want me to go through the same? Or do we want to go right to B and ask questions on the proposed presentation?
Hold on, I'll get a chance to see the first one.
You guys seen it before?
Bernie was here last.
The only area I'd like to see is where it's gonna be attached onto the high school.
Sure.
How that, I mean, I guess that would interest me, how it's gonna be utilized and, you know, the proximity to whatever and stuff like that. I don't wanna hear all that other stuff.
Okay, so let's move on to item B.
And we wanna go to that point, and we play ask a question.
Well, I think Bernie was at the last meeting,
Yes.
so as our only member of the public, not a district employee, and his wife in our audience.
My membership isn't paid yet for the coming year, though.
Let's go right to that question. Brady, you want to share?
Yeah, and you guys can feel free to jump in. So essentially it gets attached right now onto what is an art and Spanish room that are down in that corner of, you know, facing facing the street. So the rooms that you see right here, your art room, your science rooms, essentially there's a corridor that's added on to that space, you know, right essentially where the portable is now, lining up against the street. You know, that's where it is. Are you asking
The west side over there, huh? To the west.
Correct.
It'll right where the portable sits today, Bernie.
Oh, okay, right where
Yeah.
the all right.
And
Yeah.
you see the greenhouse is the square
Oh,
right
yeah, I
next
got
to
the
the, that's where
greenhouse,
the
yeah,
greenhouse
okay.
is. So
Yeah.
the greenhouse will be right outside the science room
So
addition.
Yeah.
basically, the portable currently resides right here,
Okay.
where that classroom is pretty much right where the portable is. So it'll be completely enclosed in. There's no, you know, right now it's open air
Yeah.
going out to the portable.
How many feet is it?
The square footage is in the presentation.
Yeah, I was just wondering how far that was going out foot-wise.
You mean in terms of the distance between
Yeah.
the new rooms to the old rooms?
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it would be, but I mean, based on what I've talked to Mr. Jamrose about on the original drawings, you're talking realistically less than 50, 60 feet from the room that's there right now, passing through the doors to the new rooms. You're talking 50, 60 feet to those.
Well, Mark, to give you an idea, I think you can see where the high school gymnasium sits now. And you're almost out parallel with, or as deep north now as you sit with the gym. It looks like it's a bit further.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. On the back side of it, yes, it essentially lines up right now, that grass area. There's obviously the parking lot, the staff parking lot, and the bus parking lot. It butts up almost directly to where that back side of those new rooms is. So right now it's kind of that grass, and there's a sidewalk that runs through there out to the parking lot from that space. But essentially it takes up that entire grass space that exists there right now.
Additional questions from the public or comments regarding the proposed project?
The only thing I would like to add, you know, just for old time's sake is, you know, I started this project, you know, I know about 3 years ago at that CISA 10, and I read that religiously, you know, and then I think they proposed 3 classrooms for tech and science, and I was kind of impressed the way they laid it out, because they talked about the new technology, which we were not in, and I felt kind of bad because I figured we were a little bit slow, but so be it. Now we got Brady, of course, and he's everything. But with that being said, is, you know, our accountability thing for that previous year was, we were the top one in central Wisconsin, the only one ahead of us was Marathon, and we were quite distance ahead of Wausau and, you know, New School and all that. And then, the thing that really impressed me was that the science area, you know, I know we got to upgrade, I'm not against it, but I mean, what I'm saying is, in spite of everything, our science area, our staff and teachers and kids seem to operate at a pretty good level comparatively, you know, and I'm so proud of that. I have to tell you, you know, I got a lot of stock, you know, over the years bought into this Mosinee school district. Of course, every year I have to kind of contribute a little more, but that being said, I have to say, I wouldn't want to be anyplace else but Mosinee, as bad as we are, you know. I mean, you know, and sometimes the school board gets criticized for being so bad. I mean, they're all in their own little sandboxes, but that's okay too, though. I can handle all that. But I like to look at the final report stuff, you know, and some people don't believe in tests, but you gotta have something. But with that being said, I go back to that, and you know, when that science thing came out that time, here Mosinee was #1 among all the schools, Wausau, Point, and Marathon at that. And I gave you that copy of the 14 there, and I was so proud of it at that time, you know, I still am, and you know, and everybody involved, and then I brought it up, like the high schools got dirtied up, and I got clobbered the other day by somebody in the middle school, and they said, no, wait a minute, we do a good job in the middle school too. They said, you know, our science program don't just start in the high school, it starts in the middle school. Boy, you know, they really put me in my place in a hurry. And I checked with my grandkids too, and that's right, they've got a good science curriculum starting in the middle school. And you know, it was a wake-up call for me, but I think that being said is, you know, you talk about technology and everything else in sciences and so much. I got a grandkid now going to Point, and his 5th year, and he's in biology and chemistry and physics, you know, and I don't know where the hell he's going, but I think he's a little crazy sometimes, but that's neither here nor there. But you know, again, I have to say, now with this new addition thing, you know, I looked at a few of these pods, and I agree, we don't want that there countertop stuff, you know, we gotta shack it up like Amazon does it. And then of course, like the other night, you know, like Brady, we gotta get the Brady factor in there, you know, and of course they got that virtual stuff now. You can have 3-4 different experiments going on in a room at the same time, because and a teacher can watch them all because with the technology, and I think that's just terrific. I mean, you know, you have students up here and another one down here, this gap achievement stuff, you know, and I just have to bring that gap achievement out now, you know, I'm the only one here, you know, but anyhow, I just have to throw this in there, you know, if you feed all the same ration, you know, really jack them up, the good ones are going to get better and the lower ones are going to have a hard time keeping up. And I have one analogy, though, I have to throw in there. There's only so many people that went to the moon and so many to go to the space station, and the rest of us are in between someplace, you know. And I'll get more critical yet. You know, we got an achievement gap on the school board, too. You know, we're all different levels, and that's good. That's the way life is. And I'll finish off with our class in high school. We had one guy there, we knew he was the best one in the class, and we didn't give him no hard time. And he wound up being one of the chief editors of the paper, Milwaukee Sentinel Journal. And you know, and I would get such a big kick. I see that editorial breakdown up to here is Frank Wicker, you know. And I respected the guy so much, even though he's a hell of a lot smarter than I was, you know. But I think we have to, there will always be achievement. I respect the district for doing it. But, you know, we're 48th in the states, you know, we're way down there, Wisconsin is, as far as achievement gap, you know, and of course Evers is going crazy down there, you know, he's got to run to Washington, you know, to try to cover his track. But, you know, I think that's good, because that means you're doing you got double credit courses, you're dual credit and all this, and the science and everything else, and I think the Mosinee School District is really doing one hell of a job. I really do, you know, and you know, you can't give all the credit to the board or the superintendent, you know, to these teachers we got here, you know. I really respect them, and I'm just happy I'm here, and I'm looking forward to pay my dues up again at the end of the year. Thank you.
Thanks, Bernie. Anything further from the public? Again, recognizing Mr. and Mrs. Kramer are only two public, obviously, we're all taxpayers in the district, but everyone else is an employee of the school, so. Anything further from the board? Otherwise, we'll move on to item number 6, which is adjournment. We'll move on to item number 6 then.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been a motion by Gewis, seconded by Gorman to adjourn. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously, meeting adjourned.
I wrote a little note that, how do you fit that as far as the finances go? Just as long as you stand for spending.